Hey everyone, thank you all for attending my session on introducing Power Virtual Agents, the new members of the Power Platform family. And let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I really want to thank all our sponsors because none of this would be possible if it was for our sponsors. So if you are a sponsor on this phone call or this meeting, thank you so much for attending it. And thank you so much for your sponsorship. It will definitely not go unnoticed. So a little bit about me. My name's Daniel Christian, and that's my Twitter handle, so you can follow me on social media, which is Twitter. And I also am very active on YouTube. I have a whole 150 videos on pretty much the entire Power Platform, arena over here. I've got a whole bunch of videos on the Power Virtual Agents as well. So, I highly recommend that you go over there. If you search for Daniel Christian Power Apps, you'll find my videos over there, and I highly recommend that you subscribe and hit the bell notification. So let's talk about introduction to Power Virtual Agents. Now there's a little bit of history in Power Virtual Agents which I want to talk about, but you know what? Let's pause over here for a minute and jump straight into a first section of the demo. And here's where I want to do it. What I want to do is actually kind of walk you through how to even start creating your first chatbot. So let me give a quick tidbit over here, or quick tips over here. This is what the Power Virtual Agent looks like, all right? And then in my Power Virtual Agents, when you come over here, you have different environments. So this kind of seems a lot like how our other Power Platform is, which is the Power Apps, Power Automates. It's broken down into almost the same style, like the environments. Over here you see entities, and we'll talk more about that. But what I want to do is actually first come and build our first bot, because it can take a solid 5 minutes, sometimes less, but it can take up to 5 minutes for it to get created. So just to make sure I have a done deal, which is a nice bot created, I want to go ahead and start creating that over here. So what I'm going to call this is called as Scottish Summit 2021. I'll select my language as English, which is my default language. And my environment, I'll go ahead and specifically select mine. And we are off. So it's going to go ahead and start getting created. And this is what I want to do, is it's creating the bot right now. It says working on it. And this is where I wanted to kind of, pause and let this get started. And we'll come back over here and pick up in a few minutes. So let's go back to our slide deck. All right, in my slide deck over here, I want to actually give you an introduction of Power Virtual Agents, because that's the whole premise of this session altogether. So the history of it was actually introduced at Ignite of 2019. That's when they first introduced it, and that's when they talked about, the new chatbot system, which is going to be either no code or low code, and so on and so forth. But they also talked more about it. It says it's built on the Power Platform and the existing Azure bot services. But I like the way they went ahead and approached it, they as in Microsoft, because the original concept of building anything to do with AI and machine learning is hard. It's hard to create it, expensive to maintain it, and there was always this disconnect, right? There was this friction between the subject matter experts and also the developers, because a bot needs to help someone answer questions. The questions come from subject matter experts, but then those questions need to be transferred over to developers or scientists who are actually building bots. So there was kind of that friction between the two. But now, thanks to the whole, Power Virtual Agents, or you'll keep hearing me say PVA, you've got the concept of, even citizen developers building all of this. Also, bots were completely, weren't as useful unless they were constantly integrated with some back-end databases or places where you can have more personalized answers over there. So those were some of the hiccups that we've had in the past. But now, thanks to Power Virtual Agents, all of those hiccups have been solved, because you've got this great integration, because there are the customers, there are the subject matter experts and the IT admin dev, but the IT admins or the devs and the subject matter experts can actually almost blend in together, because the SMEs can also be the chatbot makers over there, because it's built on the low code and no code style over there. So in addition, over here on the chatbot side, one of the things which people always ask me is that, Daniel, weren't you the same person who actually made that Q&A maker, and also the person who went ahead and made all the other Lewis bots over there? So what is your take on this whole Power Virtual Agents? And if you're one of those people who's thinking about that, that's a great question, because I did actually I did a full video on how to make a chatbot using Q&A maker, and it was back in, July of 2017. And then almost a year after that, I also went ahead and started building chatbots with Lewis, which is, the whole language understanding intelligence system. But what happened was, For me, Q&A Maker was a lot of work. I mean, it was a bot, definitely no code whatsoever, but training that bot took forever. And that bot was, I mean, it's not a human being, so you really had to train it, which means you had to give it every possible question that can come over there and be asked. You got to give all these answers over there, and so on and so forth. Now, one thing that the Q&A Maker had, which I liked, was it was able, you can put in a URL, like of a, you go to a website, you find the Q&A question and answer section of the website, you literally take the link of that, you paste it in the Q&A Maker, and it'll scrap that, which means that it'll automatically import it. That was a great tip in Q&A Maker. And in fact, they've actually taken that Q&A Maker ID and put it into the Power Virtual Agents, and I'll show you that. Now, Lewis was definitely a step up from Q&A Maker, but adopting Lewis was a little bit more time consuming because it had a little bit more flow to how you set Lewis up. So there was a little bit of a learning curve over there. So I said this not to brag. I said this because I've got this experience of Q&A Maker. I've got this experience of Lewis. And after even first time playing and testing both of them, I know for a fact that PVA is a huge step up. It is so much more user friendly. It is so much more easier to work with both as a maker and as a user. So that's why I really like the whole concept they have over here, because the Q&A Maker, the PVA came back, as the last member, so far as the last member, the fourth member of the Power Platform family, but it kind of sits on top of the Power Platform family. So let me show you what that means. All right, so the Q&A Maker still works on the same fundamental Microsoft cognitive services system over there. See, in fact, the Q&A Maker does still work on, the PVA does work on the Q&A Maker. It does have the language understanding and things inside to it. It does give you the flexibility to have all the APIs over there. It plugs into all these other cognitive services APIs, including Bing search, including all the cognitive services OCR and stuff like that. So like I was saying, even though the PVA is the fourth member of the family, it kind of sits on top of the pyramid. So this is basically how Microsoft puts it, is that the Azure Cognitive Services is the base, the big base of this, of this big pyramid over here. On top of that are the Azure bot systems over there. So you've got all these APIs on the bottom. On top of that are the bot system, which is a bot framework. Lewis and Q&A is one of them. Then sits the Power Platform with over 300 and some connectors. And the Power Platform includes primarily Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. And on top of that is Power Virtual Agents. And I really like the way this analogy is put up over here, because that kind of shows that you have, yes, it is a member of the family, but it falls on top of the three existing members of the family because you're leveraging them. But it also sits on top of the entire cognitive services and the Azure bot service. So just visualizing this gives you a really good understanding of where PVA falls into this entire, map or geographic map of this technology over here. So when it comes to the Power Virtual Agents, I want to set an example, because let's I've given you an introduction of it. I want to go and talk about an example. So what we're going to do in the example is we're going to break these examples down into two scenarios. One scenario will actually be a static bot, is what I like to call it. Static is you go ahead and build a bot, and in the bot you have all the concept of every question, every information, every flow is already put into that bot system over there. And over there, anytime you want to make any adjustments or any tweaks, you got to directly go into that bot and tweak it. So we're going to do it in that perspective, and then if time permits, at the end I'll even show you a dynamic bot. So let's go and actually I have a scenario for the dynamic bot, but I'll go and we'll talk about that scenario in a minute. Let's go and actually see the bot. So there you go, is our Scottish Summit 2021. Some error came up over there, but we'll ignore that for now. And this is our bot. So now when I come to the top right, I actually see my new bot is selected over here. And as you can see, there's a check next to it, which means that is the actual bot. If I were to go ahead and select another bot, you will, on the top it says processing a request. And then after that, it'll go ahead and change the name up over there. So it's actually changing it. And it shows that you're in a different bot. So this is very important for that bot system to, for you to know that yes, you are in a single environment, but now you've got the options to go ahead and switch to multiple bots in that same environment. All right, so let's go back into the one that we just created. It has been successfully created. Now it's loading it in, and let's kind of look around to see what all is going on over here. So the first thing is, let's take a look at this menu over here. So it's on the home, and on the home, it's basically, this is where you land. It gives you a quick overview of, hey, here's where you can do a quick chat over here. It gives you some overview of what the, how we create a topics, publishing it, monitoring the performance. Gives you kind of good links and overview to get yourself up to speed. Then on the left is something which you will spend a lot of time in when you build bots, and that is topics. Now, if you think about it, a topic is literally what that word means, is that on what topic do you want to build a bot? And so it's literally that simple. So for example, the one that we're going to do is we're going to build a bot on some kind of a support system. So the example that we're going to do on the static bot is the support system. So that's where we'll build our support bot over there. But you could also have a bot for, say, Q&A or a virtual contact list. Basically those are the places that you come over here and you build that topic. So if I were to now come in and talk about that, support system, this is what I do. I come over here, I put in the name of the support system, friendly name, whatever I want. But then after that, you have to go ahead and put in these trigger phrases. And trigger phrases means that what are those phrases or those sentences where you know that, hey, this is the bot that you want to call for this discussion. So things I'm going to use from my example, we'll come to that in a minute, but here are where those phrases go over there. Entities, the concept, yeah, that's fine, we can leave that. The concept of entities is very similar, if not the same, as what we have on the Power Apps and Power Automate. Granted, over there, the name has changed to tables. Over here, it still continues to remain as entities. And as far as I know, this is the naming convention. They'll leave it over here. But the concept is the same. So if I were to go ahead and select on any of these pre-built ones, I click on age. And there it is. This is all the information for the user input can put in. There is an entity, and then there is a saved value over there. All right. There is also the option for custom entities where you can go ahead and put in more custom entities and add basically more of your entities. So that's the functionality over there. The analytics piece is pretty slick. It'll make more sense when we actually have some bots ready over there. But one of the neat things I like about this bots is it gives you a full fidelity of all the information of the summary, customer satisfaction, sessions, building. Full out-of-the-box deep analytics is provided to you out of the box over here, and it's just there at your convenience over there. So summary basically shows you things such as how many sessions you have, how many engagements, any escalation rates, so on and so forth. Customer satisfaction, again, it gives you the way the whole bot system works. It's able to give you the customer satisfaction information of how often was the bots used, what was the how fast were they able to resolve the problem over there. What was the abandon rate? The abandon rate means somebody started chatting with the bot and then the person disappeared. Well, that's called as an abandoning, and how often did that happen? So the built-in analytics is so neat that you don't even have to consider about, the data is good, but I got to go and build my own reports. You may not even need to get that far because the data is already there. Sessions and Billings basically shows, the sessions shows how many sessions you had, but you can actually even go ahead and download and you get a full copy of that session. The session even includes that full chat discussion that you had with the bot and the end user. Even this information is included over here. And then the billing section, I'll touch that towards the end, but like it says, here's the billing section over there. And I'll talk more about that billing at the end over here. Finally, like anything, if you've built it, you need to go ahead and publish it. So this is where you come in. When we actually build our first chatbot, we'll be coming over here, we'll be publishing it, and then we'll just go ahead and get deployed on that. And there are these other details which we'll come to this a little bit in the end. So let's go back and visit now our example that I was going to talk about. So in my example for that static bot, I want to take a scenario of the world that we live in where people have need help. Either it has to do with because of the pandemic that we are going through, people may have lost their jobs, and because of that they need some kind of service. So there's kind of two categories of those. There are the people who actually need service, and then there are also people who can offer the service. And they all go to this fictitious company called Cheers Incorporated, but Cheers is a non-profit support organization where they can go ahead and help people, but they also need support from that. So there's the admin person over there who's part of the phone system is constantly getting hammered by both kind of people. It's constantly the people who need service are calling the phone support. The people who offer service also call the phone support. So the admin is really getting hammered over there. So how can this chatbot system help? Well, here's an example. You actually now put in this little, person in between, and that person in between is the chatbot. And now the chatbot is getting, most of the questions, which are just simple FYI type of questions, or things which you could put in your FAQs, but people don't read the FAQs. They can just have a discussion with the chatbot. This is where the chatbot can come and take so much load off that admin over there. And if anybody has additional information, let them just go and fill out a Microsoft form, and then the admin goes ahead and takes care of the Microsoft forms. Now, what I want to pause over here and tell you is that if you notice, the admin does not lose his or her jobs. And I always kind of hear that little concern is that, oh man, is a chatbot system going to replace me? And the answer to that is no. The chatbot system is actually going to lend you a helping hand to take off your regular day-to-day mundane tasks. Those are the ones that the chatbot can take over. They don't get tired. They don't get hungry. They just keep doing it. So you can focus on those really critical and important things that really require your human mind intervention. You can focus on that. And then the chatbot can take off so much load, complete all the work, and then hand over some of the main things over there. So I kind of want to, give you that peace of mind, because this is not what chatbots do. They don't replace people. They lend you a helping hand. And then the cheers person, like I said, can actually go ahead and take a look at, the example of where the help is actually needed. So let's go and actually take a look at that type of scenario. And I'll show you how, we can start building something like that. And I'll show you what the finished piece is altogether. So let's go back now to the Scottish Summit example that we've created over here. Now we can go to the topics, and let's build that topic. So I'm going to build a topic on the services. Let's call it as services. And in the services, we're going to start with some trigger phrases. So the ones that I'm going to say is that I need help. I need support. I need financial assistance. I need technical assistance. I need assistance. So basically, you need to start with at least 5, and you can go ahead and put more of that. Now, this is more from the person who needs service and needs assistance. Let me also put in I need service. What about the other people who can offer service? We need to put the same thing there as well. So I can offer service. I can offer assistance. I can offer, and we can all put other stuff over there. I'm just going to put in this type of stuff for technical assistance and so on and so forth, right? So you do have a couple of things you can do over here. There's, you can do Control-C, Control-V for copying and pasting, and you can go ahead and do all of that. So now that we've gone ahead and put in our first service and put some trigger phrases, I got to click on Save Topics. It's going and actually saving my topic. So now when I come over, after it's done saving, it says topic successfully saved. I come over here to topics, and now you see our topics over here. Now it does go ahead and show up this one error over there. Well, the error is the simple part. I'll go ahead and show it. But what happens over here is you kind of see two things. Now in the services, you have the option to go directly into building the bot system, or you can go and take a look at the analytics. It also tells you how many trigger phrases you've done, and if you want to actually turn the status on and off over here. So let's go back in over here into the services. You can see all the trigger phases we've done. Right now it is being modified by me. I'm the one building it. But now let's go and click to going to author a canvas, which is authoring a canvas means actually creating it. Now, the reason it gave you that error, the error that we saw over there was because it automatically puts this message step over here and it's blank. So what we want to do is first thing we can come over here and actually say, thanks for stopping by. Yep, so we can start over there. Next, we come over here and we can ask a question. So there are these a whole bunch of other things that you can click, and adding these nodes. You see the plus sign is called as a node. When you click on that, you've got these options. So what is it that you want to do? Do you just want to put a message, or do you want to actually do an action? Ask a question, or do you want to call an action? Calling an action means what other things that you want to do. So when I click on call an action, one of the things that I use a whole lot is to go ahead and kick off a flow, a Power Automate flow. That's an action. You can also go ahead and do authentication. That's another action that I can do. Authentication, and it's a little bit more deep dive into that, but I'll give it a quick 10-second review on that. Is authentication means once the chatbot is having a discussion with you where they need your personal information. For example, say you're an employee, all right, and you're having discussion with this chatbot outside your company, and the moment you start asking things about, I need approval for this PTO, that's when you have to authenticate in, because now you got to authenticate into your company tenant. That way, the bot system is able to find out how many, say, existing hours that you have left. So the bot can provide you that, hey, Daniel, I know you're putting in a time request, but you have only 30 hours left. So kind of keep that in mind. And when you go in and submit that in, it'll know who your manager is, and all those workflows can kick in. So that's where Authenticate comes in. Authenticate you securely into your tenant. And these are all the other things you can do, flows. And I'll show you some of the examples I've done. But this is neat because right from here, you can go ahead and click on create a flow, and it directly takes you into the Power Automate. It directly takes you into the environment, and you click on the flow over there. So those are the things that you talk about action. So in our case, I want to go ahead and now put in ask a question. So in my ask a question, I'm going to say, are you here? Are you here for, let's say that as, do you need help, or are you offering help? All right. So I'm going to put that in as that, offering. Now, anytime you go ahead and put in a question, it is going to grab that answer of that question and assign it as a variable, which I love, because what I've done is now it automatically knows, the bot system is smart enough that it knows that, hey, this person is going to ask a question, and therefore we need to save that question somewhere over there. And so this is how it works over here. So I'm going to say, what type of help? That's how I'm going to do it. Now, there's been some more enhancements that have come in. Like I've been working with this for close to 2 years now. So at that time, the variables which was there, it wasn't available as a topic or a bot based over there. It was just, here's the question. It was tied to that variable that was tied to the bot. But you've got these nice little functions available that you can go ahead and put it at the bot level. Because at that bot, I can go ahead and have multiple topics. So you can switch that around topics, and you've got all these other nice functionalities. In addition, asking the question, you have options. Like in this case, I'm going to make it very user friendly and say that, hey, I need help, or I'm here to offer help. But you can also take it as just a user's entire response. Is it person just goes ahead and writes in an entire text, or is the response going to be like an age type of response, or a city, or a color? It gives you all these little response types that you can use to identify what type of response it is, and then save it over there. In our case, it's just going to be a multiple question. So I'm just going to say, I need help. Click on plus. And you see that moment I clicked on plus, the bot system is smart enough to already say that, okay, the first time was, need help. So I've already got this one thread going over here. But moment I hit plus, it's like, oh, that means there's going to be another question. So let me just go ahead and add that over here. It's so smart and so user friendly. I just love how intuitive this is. So I'm going to say offer help. All right. And so there you go. I went ahead and did that. Now we've already, let me go and just save it. Come over here, and it's kind of flowing. It's making sense, right? So now in the condition over here, I can go in and now put in another, just a message. It's like in the message is that, thanks for stopping by. We will do our absolute best to assist you to better understand, answer these questions. All right, so that's just the message over here. And then over here, we can go ahead and guess what? Do another ask a question. And it says, what type of assistance do you need? And in the need, we can go ahead and put in things such as financial. And over here, we can change the variable name. So I need the assistance needed. This is financial, or we say child support. Oh, that's not child support. Let's go and put that in as babysitter. Babysitter. Let's put that in as technical training. Let's just put that as technical. Let's put it as technical over there. This is enough to start with. So somebody comes in, they go ahead and ask these type of things, and then after that, based on what they select on the financial, you can go ahead and put in a message over here, a message saying that, thanks for the information. We do our level best to assist people financially. Please fill out this form, and we will get back with you within 48 hours. All right. And then guess what? Here is where I go ahead and grab that Microsoft form that I was talking about. So I come over here. I already have a access to a Microsoft form. Go and grab that. The form. Oh, that's fine. I'll go ahead and grab that link, and then I can put that link over here. So basically, you come in there. I click on. I can highlight it. So I put in Microsoft Forms. Highlight that. And then I can put in the name of the form in HTTPS, Microsoft Forms, whatever, Microsoft forms.microsoft.com. Things like that. See, it kind of gives you a little bit of rich text feeling over there as well, because you're able to put bold, italics, bullets, numerical values, links, also the values of each of the variables that you selected. These are the variables that come up directly from those. It kind of gives you all that functionality over here. Now, same thing happens even on this one over here. So basically, if it was, if you've selected babysitter, if you've selected technical stuff, so on and so forth, you can actually handle that. So, for example, sometimes the messages might be the same. If the messages are the same, this is what you can do. You can click on that, and then you see that you basically take it, and you basically connect it. Just like that. It's that simple over there. And if you don't want it, you can click on it and hit delete, and it goes back over there. That was the only part that I did not find very intuitive. You just had to know that you did this. So once again, you click on that plus, and the moment you see that bubble over there, you click on it, and then you drag it, and you got to drag it till it actually connects to the other one. And the moment it connects it, this will automatically slide in over here. If you don't want it, select it again, hit delete, and it goes back over there. Now, in our scenario, the one for the babysitter is a little different answer. So I'm going to put this message over here. It says, thanks for the information. We have several certified babysitters who can offer you free service. And then again, same thing. Please fill out this form. We'll get back to you in 48 hours. But some of the text messages change. Therefore, it's kind of best to put that in as different messages. And then over here, we can actually add another set of questions. Set of questions is that we can definitely provide technical service. What kind do you need? And over here you can put that in as electrical. We can put in computers. Car repair, so on and so forth, things like that. All of these things you can put in, and then it goes ahead and automatically builds its own things over here. We can definitely put in another variable. The variable is the technical service needed, things like that. We've assigned its own variable over there. So now that we've got all of this over here in these sections, what you do is you can go ahead and now merge the two and send them to the form place over there. So basically, this is how the overview of building the form of the chatbot works. So let me go and take you directly to a finished product. So I'm going to go and click on save over here. But now you kind of get an idea of what it is. One thing is, another new functionality that had come up is it's giving you the multi-authoring flexibility. So it tells you at what point whoever is working on it, their name shows up over here. So that is a new functionality that will come in over here. So I'm going to go in now, and I'm going to go and switch over to one of my bots, and it'll show you the full finished product that I have over here. So I'm coming in. I actually have a topic over here called need some assistance. So I'm going to click on that need some assistance. And this is what the finished product looks like, or the finished bot logic looks like. I've gone ahead and added a whole bunch of phrases over here just so that knows what it is. and then I can go and click on authoring. And let's take a quick review of what this thing does over here. So I'm going to X out of here so we have some room to see. And there it is. The trigger faces, again, I put a message over there. Then I ask them questions like I need help. I can help to volunteer. The need help, I put whatever was selected over here, assign it to that variable. And then the flow starts over here. This is very similar to the one that we just created. So you kind of understand that, was it a financial help, household chores, babysitters, technology? Then based on what was selected, again, I just put that, we sympathize with you and we'll do our best to do that. So that question about the financial one, it had a separate message connected to the form. The one for the household chores, it had a separate message, but the same link to the form, so on and so forth over here. Same thing for the babysitter one, different form over here. Technology, there were more other subsections available over there. Same thing for the financial, but then they all link together, over here, getting more information, more, so on, questions that is added. And then they all have more messages. And then after that, it goes and checks to see at the end that, hey, do you need anything else? If you don't need anything else, great. It'll end the conversation, and the conversation basically adds with, a request that it'll give you to fill out a survey. But if you do, then you can go ahead and click on that and reconnect it right back up to the top, right at the top over here, saying, are you needing help or things like that. So you see that one, it comes all the way from there. It goes all the way down. That's the same line and connects over here. So the linking from one place to another is all very, intuitive, because I need to understand the logic of that. A couple of things I like about how this thing works is that when you are viewing it like that, recenter it, you can view it. See this one over here, which is the mini map. I love the mini map because it actually shows me, first of all, automatically it shows me what is the kind of overall look of your bot system over here. And then you can just go ahead and slide it. It's like, oh, I'm going to go all the way to the top. Oh, I need to focus on this one over here. I need to focus on this one. So the mini map is actually one of my favorites. Then you also have the option to zoom in. You can zoom out, completely zoom out and recenter it. Also shows you all the different variables that you're using over there. So I like this menu system which is made available because it really helps. All right, so now let's go ahead and actually do the test the bot. So I'm going to click on test the bot, and I'm going to start with need some financial assistance. So I just type that in, and it is going to go ahead and say, hey, we're glad you stopped by. Do you need help, or are you willing to help? So the way I love about this bot system when you're doing testing is it's able to help tell you at what point of the bot you are in. So right now, this, the question that you're saying, hey, we're glad you stopped by. That was a message. Do you need help or you're offering help? That was a question. This kind of gives you a good overview at which point of the bot you are here. So I'm saying I can help volunteer. It says, thank you for volunteering. Thank you again for so much for your financial assistance. Please fill up your form. And there it is. So you're going to click on that, takes you directly to the form. You go fill out the form and you're, off to the races. After that, it says, need anything else? I say, actually I do. So I'm going to come back over here. The system says, I need help. So I'm going to click on need help. Now it went straight over there. It says, we'll do our very best. We sympathize, we'll do our help perform. We'll go ahead and say yes. And it goes straight over there. And then after that, again, do you need help or anything? Are you willing to volunteer? Again, I can need help. Again, I can go and I need the actual help. Let's go for the next example. I'm good on the financial services side. I do need a babysitter. So on the babysitter, then it'll come back and say, we have a list of companies which have provided free babysitters. We've gone through a background check. Please fill out a form. And then need anything else? I was like, nope, I'm actually good. And after that, it is good. It says, did that answer your question? I says, yes. And then after that, great, please rate your experience. I said the experience was excellent. It says, thank you for your feedback. Again, it checks to see, can I help you with anything else? It's like, no, thanks. And then after that, the conversation ends. So thanks for chatting with me and bye. So that is a static type of a bot that we've built over here, right? It just works and it works really well. Now let me switch gears and show you what I call as a dynamic bot. So what is it that makes it so dynamic? A dynamic bot can be an example where your infrastructure or your framework design of the bot is already good, but all the data that is in here doesn't need to be statically, or manually typed in. It's not static data, it's dynamic. That's what makes it dynamic. And so the data is coming from another location altogether, but it is, and over there, Power Automate flow is used to go ahead and grab that data. So a great example that I have for you is actually how I've built I've built a bot, and that bot helps me go ahead and grabs the information about the Legos that I work with. All right. So as you probably already know, I'm a big Lego fan over here, and one of the things that I've always wanted to do was go ahead and grab information about Lego part numbers. Now I always have the part number mostly because I have Lego sets. I have, all these booklets over there which come with the Lego booklets. If you have a microscope, if you have got a magnifying glass, you can even see the part numbers. So it's easier to, and trust me when I say from experience, it's easier to find that exact Lego part or that Lego set if you know the number, because there's over 10,000 different Lego sets, and parts and everything. I'm not talking about 10,000 pieces altogether. I'm talking about 10,000 different versions of parts and Legos. So if you start searching based on typing in color of the block or typing in a vague description, it'll take forever for you to find what you're looking for. So it's best that you find it by part numbers. So what I did was I was able to use Power Automate and a chatbot. But chatbot will help you identify what is it that part you're looking for. Is it the correct one? Give you an image of that as well, and give you a little bit of statistic about that information over there. So how did I build this? Well, the first thing I did was, let's actually go in and take a quick overview of the topic over there. I used a combination of first building the bot. So here I'm going to click on that and I'm going to go straight into the authoring. So I build the bot with the simple initial things. It goes ahead and asks you all those questions. Is it a part? Is it a set? Is it a minifigure? And then once you've gone ahead and answered all that information, it goes ahead and kicks off flows. So the flow, basically, and I'll click on it. See, in the flow over here. Now, initially, this wasn't a feature. You actually had to go into your Power Automate and search for that flow. But now they added that little bit icon over there. So when I click on that icon, it directly opens up and takes me to the flow, which I've directly connected over here. So here's the flow. I'm going to click on it. And basically, the flows have two very important things. It has the trigger, which comes from Power Virtual Agents, and it also has the return that goes back to the Power Virtual Agents. And in between over here, there's a lot of magic happening. But the big magic is there's a API connection going to a very popular website that I use. It's called rebreakable.com. And that rebreakable.com has a lot of inventory information for thousands and hundreds and thousands of Lego stuff over there, and they've provided an API, and that API is what I use. I get a secret code, I sign up with them, it's free. You sign up with them, you get a free code, and that's how you go ahead and make that connection over there. So let's go check out to see how this works. All right, so I'm going to now come in, and I'll go and say, hi there. So it's going ahead and saying hi there. The bot really kicks off right at the beginning over there, and it says, hi, I am your personal virtual assistant. I can help with Lego parts, sets, minifigures, related questions. If you'd like a human agent, let me just know anytime. So I said, what can I help you with? And I'm going to say Lego parts. So it says, hey, it looks like, what kind of information I'm looking for? I'm going to say parts. I already typed it in, but it's just double checking with me. And saying, do you have a part number? So what if I say no? Right? When I say no, it's going to actually come back and say, a part number is required for this search to be successful. Maybe you need a set or Lego maker. So basically, I've made the bot smart enough to tell the end user again that you kind of need that part number to be successful. So again, it comes back and it helps me. And I've basically done all the looping like I'd shown in the in the walkthrough that's how you do it. So I'm going to say I need a part number. So when I click on the part number, it says, do you have the part number? Yes, I do have a part number. And I'm going to go with the famous 3039. When I do the 3039, now it is running a flow. So it's actually running this flow over here. Flow goes ahead and runs it directly from the that API, which is the rebreakable.com, goes and gives that part number. It sends the part number to the API, gets it back, and it sends me this information. Now see, this is why I call this as a dynamic design, because moving forward, unless I really want to tweak the bot's text or whatever, the infrastructure, the framework of this bot is already good. I don't have to do anything else to it. The only thing I may have to tweak now is the actual access to the data, because the bot's framework is good. And this is what I mean by a dynamic bot system. The bot's good, just the data needs to be changed. But see the information how it's sent. I put in the part number because I knew what the part number was, but it came back with the, this is the name. It's actually a slope 45 degrees 2 by 2. Like, try putting that name in and hopefully the system can find it. This is what I meant. It's easier and more efficient to search based on the part number, and the part numbers are easily accessible. Most of your Lego sets either have them, or any booklet that you use to build something, a set, back of the booklet or usually the last pages have those Lego sets over there. But look at all this information. It tells me what the category ID was, the year it started, the year it is still available, and I can even click on it and it shows me the name of the picture of that. So let's continue. It says, anything else? I'm going to say yes. It's going to go back up over there. And it says, what information are you seeking? I say, I'm seeking for a set. So now it says, do you have the set number? I says, yes, I do. And so my set number is going to be, let me put that in, is 3803-1. And that's important because if you do a 3800 whatever, it is still going ahead and doing a search for it. In fact, you saw that it had to, the flow took a few seconds more, just a second or two more. That's why you saw those ellipses dots coming up over here. But then it went ahead and searched it through the backend database, and it picked it up. It's like, hey, it's a robotics inventory system upgrade kit. This was when it came out over here. I click on it, shows me what that system inventory kit looks like, things like that. So this is basically an example of how that works with the dynamic bot over here. So I do want to close with a few important things that I want to show you. It's definitely important enough that you need to understand that. Couple of things is that right now there are more and more languages coming in. So there's about 15 languages. I've already seen a whole bunch coming into mine over there, but more and more are going to come in. They have added a data center in Canada to help with the efficiency of the the bandwidth for that. Multi-authoring support is available. In fact, remember when I showed you that on the top there was a little circle with D on it? That was mine. Ability also to export and import chatbots is coming in. So these are all these new features. Some of them are already in, more of them to come. Now, in addition to the whole bot system over here, there are a couple of things which are not going to work. So images and videos are not available in chatbots now. Maybe in the future there will be, but even if you put a link, that's all the link does. In fact, you saw that, the link to the videos that I put in, the Lego pieces, was just a link. I couldn't actually display the link. All I put in was just the image. Other neat thing is as of April of 2020, there is a full community now available for Power Virtual Agents. You can actually go over there. You can see, ask questions. I've actually posted my videos over there. So make good use of the community. It is a huge add-on to the existing Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI over there. All right. So questions about, it's not so much on the cost of the licensing. It's how the licensing works. So right now with the Power Virtual Agents, or PVA, the amount is 1,000 for 2,000 sessions per tenant per month. Also, the flows that come along with it. So if you run any flows, you're not getting charged for those flows. But then what are these unlimited flows, and what do you mean by triggered by? So remember back in that example that I did over there, I showed you in that flow, there's a flow on the top, which is the trigger, and the flow on the bottom, which is send. As long as you use those, you will get those unlimited number of flows over there. So kind of keep that in mind, is how that flow thing works over there. Now, the other important thing is the session definition. So what are those, you're allowed to have for that $1,000, you're allowed to have 2,000 chats per month per tenant. Well, what is defined as a chat? Here is what it is. This is a topic ends in each of the following scenarios: when all of the customer sessions are answered, or when a customer intentionally ends or closes a chat session, or when a bot is unable to answer adequately and the interaction is escalated to a live agent. That is what's defined as a fully chat, where that number of the 2,000 you have, that would be considered as one successful chat, as long as you go through these chatting scenarios over here. Now, capacity enforcements is all are monitored on a monthly basis over there. So if of those, for the $1,000 you're allowed 2,000 chats. Well, those 2,000 chats do not carry over. It's not like your old cell phone services that we had over there, which your phone number minutes will carry over to the next month. No, this doesn't work that way. It only is like you either use it or you lose it. But let me show you what's important, because this sometimes concerns people. Is that, Daniel, for $1,000 I'm only getting 2,000 chats? Well, let me show you an example. So here is, it's a Power BI report, but let's focus on some of the important things over here. See that? That tells you that you had 1,133 runs, which means there were potentially 1,133 chats that were going on, but you were only allowed billed for 162 of them. That means that those were the only 162 where you actually had some real chats going on, that people just didn't come in over here, and they didn't leave. See the abandoned. That's how that chat looks like. They were abandoned. They were, sorry, not abandoned, unengaged. Like somebody came in and said hello, and that's it. Like nothing happened. So that's considered as an unengaged one, which means you're not billed for that. So that's kind of very important that you understand this, is that those 2,000 chats that you have needs to be an engaged chat, not an abandoned one or an unengaged one. Finally, I just want to end with showing you how it has developed in so much in the past. Like before, when I was building the Power Automate flows, that was the trigger. It was actually an HTTP request trigger. But this is what it is right now. It's so much more easier. I don't have to update it on any, queries, because this was literally I had to update in a query type of a thing, a code a little bit. But this is now it's that easy, and this is basically what it looks like. See that before I had to update that JSON string manually. Now I don't have to do that. It's just like any other triggers that you have over there. So it has evolved so much in such an efficient way, and I'm really happy because it's only getting better over there. So once again, my name is Daniel Christian. This is my Twitter handle. That's my YouTube channel over there for all the videos that I have on the Power Virtual Agents over there. And I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for stopping by on this session of mine. Hopefully it was helpful over there. Definitely go ahead and post on Twitter with the hashtag Scottish Summit 2021 and tell them how much you enjoyed my session. Bye.